Hey people, what's going on? It's Jameel, and I want to go over some few things about gang stalking. Now, what gang stalking is gang stalking is organized intimidation. Organized intimidation. Now, my situation was very unique. I went through many years, about 10 close years of hardcore conspiracy research. I attracted the attention of the most powerful people in the world. And, the whole time I was doing conspiracy research, I knew these people were out there somewhere, and I knew the stuff I was talking about was real, but I didn't think it was going to happen to me. And so when it came into my life, it was pretty startling. There was a unique situation where I was put in a very vulnerable situation. I was basically set up to be killed. I beat that, got out of it, slipped out of it. Then after that, I went through a year of gang stalking. I beat gang stalking, and now I want to tell you about how you can beat it. One of the things that you got to do is you got to get familiar. Get familiar with your gang stalkers. Get familiar with the patterns, okay? And you keep moving. You keep moving. Like Muhammad Ali had a phrase, float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. And that's the phrase I adopted. And I put the formula to work. I would go I would go out to places, I would go out to restaurants, I would go out to companies, corporations, businesses, shopping malls, and I would just tell the people who I am, what happened to me. I would walk up to the people. At the first store I did it at, the corporate management, they knew exactly what was going on, that I was coming in there. The employees that worked there were looking at me, and I told them, hey, I'm not a criminal, I'm not a thief. This is the reason why these people told you to watch me. And then it became easy. The next store I went to became a little bit easier. The third store I went to, I was laughing with the people, and it became sort of a happy thing. The fourth store I went to, as soon as I walked in there, the woman was being nice to me. There was other people in the store I was talking to. One of the things that I've been blessed about is, okay, when the gang stalking first started happening, it was things like cars watching me, on the corner. I was afraid to come out of my mother's house. I thought that this was not gang stalking. I thought this was a personal vendetta between me and some of the people I had offended that were very high up in world affairs. But I realized eventually that I had to face this. So I go outside, nothing happens, I don't get killed. And I say, what's going on? That really bothered me. That really, really bothered me. Then it became obvious that this was something distinctly, to keep me agitated. It was very organized. And so I started interacting. Now it's mostly, now one of the tactics they use, they get some of the most beautiful females, to come into my area, to come around me, to drive by me. And the tactic is for me to be like, oh man, I want her, and then the girl will somehow reject me, or sometimes the girl will look at me. I've had amazing challenges with this, because what guy in his right mind doesn't want to talk to a beautiful woman? And so I had an instance where I was walking, and there was two girls, and they were just standing there, and the mother was inside the van. Now the mother was contracted to organize this. The mother's in the van, and the mother's not bad looking either. And the two girls are facing me with their back towards me, and they're very attractive. You know what I mean? Like, they're at, you know what I mean? So I'm just like, I came up with a phrase for myself. I will not allow the gang stalking entities to keep me disconnected from this entity, And so I walk up to the two girls, and I start talking to them. And immediately, I talk to them, I look them in their eye, I kiss them on their hand, and now these girls are both laughing. I'm telling them, like, how beautiful they are and stuff, yada, yada, yada. And this is right outside a shopping mall in where I live at, Norton Shores, Michigan, and it's called the Lakes Mall. But what I realized is I altered the circumstance. Okay? And the two girls seemed to really enjoy what was going on, and even the mother was laughing, and I'm laughing. I'm like, yeah, I see. I'm like, is that your mother? And the girl's like, yeah. I'm like, I see where you got it from. I altered the circumstance. Now I wasn't able to go home with them, you know what I mean, or I wasn't able to do anything like that, but I was able to alter the circumstance, and that's what I realized. That's how you beat gang stalking, is you learn to alter the circumstance. Even the most toughest people, I've had guys off the street who I could tell lived on the street their whole life, gangbangers, whatever. I don't let that stop me. I know how to deal with people from every background. I talk to the people. I let them know who I was, why I was there. I didn't ask them who paid you money, who did this, who did that. I don't like to do that. That's nothing. I think to myself, our communication is going to be stronger than any other communication you have. Make them know that your circumstance and what you have to offer is 10 times stronger than whatever they got from whoever they got it from. You see what I'm saying? And so that's how you do it. You keep the ball rolling, no matter what, no matter what, and you keep going from there. You know, you keep going from there, and every day has to be better than the next. And so now when I go out to places and I go to corporations and I go to different companies and stuff, I just tell the people automatically I'm famous. Google me. You know, they know that they're supposed to be watching me and all that. So of course I'm famous. You know, and I just use the gang stalking thing 110% no matter what to make my life better. And so that's just one of the tactics you got to use. When you see cars coming with the headlights on, or even without the headlights on, and you know, and you have a good feeling that these people are, you wave at them, and then wave at other people who have nothing to do with it. Get used to interacting and navigating through life in this circumstance. Don't let it keep you blocked out of what you want to do. Okay? Don't try to be in the shadow. Just go forward. I went to Phoenix for a couple weeks to collect some thoughts. I live in Michigan, of course, and so I ended up going to a nightclub out there. And now I'm not a nightclub type person, but I just wanted to see what would happen when I got in there. Okay? And so I get in there, I'm hanging out, I'm laying back, I'm watching the scene. Do you know? Listen to this. There was a woman working there. She looked the best. I mean, there's probably like 200 people in this nightclub. The woman working there, she looked the best. I'm talking about she was like Hawaiian or something like that. Real pretty looking, real nice hair, long beautiful hair. And do you know that the nightclub told her, keep watching that guy, keep walking by him. She started doing this so much she couldn't help but to interact with me. And she didn't know why they were telling her that. That's what fascinated her. What is it about me that I'm so different than everybody else? Why is all this attention on me? See what I'm saying? And so I use that as a tool, as a mechanism to keep my grind going, to grind it out. You know what I mean? Keep that winning spirit going. Keep that championship going. And so next thing you know, I'm sitting there and like we're holding hands and stuff, and she's telling me that, you know, I'm gonna be her best friend for the rest of her life. So like, I mean, the stuff like this never really happened to me before, not on that level. And people know there's something different about you. They can see it. They know when you walk in the room, there's something different about this person. They don't have to know about the gang stalking stuff. They just know there's something different. You know, I mean, I went up against the most powerful, toughest people in the world. You know, I have to keep that grind going 110%. And when you're out there in the world, keep yourself surrounded by winners. You don't want to be around weak people. People with drug habits, people with a lot of alcohol problems, people with different sorts of hang-ups, people who aren't sure about themselves. If somebody is with me, that means they're 110% sure of themselves no matter what. I can't, unless there's somebody who I'm helping to become 110% sure of themselves. I can't afford to walk around with people who are half there and half not there. It has to be, I have to have the whole ball, you know. And so the gang stalking thing really taught me that. And like I said, I interact with the gang stalking people, even the ones who do it, and I can tell that they feel they don't like me. I'm stronger than that. That doesn't bother me. That doesn't bother me one bit. And so, if this is happening to you, you gotta find a way just to keep it rolling, you know. And one of the things that people get worried about is hey, if I go to a restaurant, are they going to drug my food? Now, this has happened to me several times. I don't worry about it. You know, I go in there, I tell the restaurant owners who I am, what's happened to me, everything. Sometimes they still drug my food, sometimes they don't, you know. But if they do drug my food, I get through it, no matter what. One of the times it happened, I ended up going to the hospital I wanted to check and see if I could find what the drug was. Now, the test they did, they came back and it was all negative. They could not, they said there's so many drugs out there, we don't know what all to test for. And I said to myself, you know, I'm not going to let this get me down. I left the hospital. I was in a place downtown Muskegon, not that far from where I live. And I started walking towards some family and friend's house. And I pulled out my jump rope, started hitting the jump rope. And now I'm in the hood, right? I'm out there hitting the jump rope, talking to people. A lot of people know who I am. I'm still having a good time. I'm not going to let this get me down. I'm passing out flyers, and the people who arranged that were still riding by in their cars, and they could tell I was still 110% more driven than them, 110% more confident than them. I felt 110% more safer than them. You know? See, that's what I'm talking about. You got to be phenomenal. Gang stalking is an average thing. You got to be phenomenal. You got to be willing to get up and go get it no matter what, 110%. And I don't let anything distract me. The way my life was before today, I don't worry about that. I don't worry about what happened last week or last month or what got me into this circumstance. I just keep going every day, and every day, I'm connecting with new people. I'm building new relationships. The circle of people you have around you is really important. I can't stress that enough. One of the biggest things is this: if I can do it, you can do it. I live at my mother's house. You see what I'm saying? With no car. I had to start off walking everywhere, being followed for 2-3 hours while I walked on foot. Sometimes I'd walk 10 hours. People were following me. People were doing stuff. They tried everything in the book to agitate me. I told myself, this is not who I am. The person I'm becoming is going to be who I am. This is just an outward manifestation. Kept the ball rolling. Became the only person in the world to ever beat gang stalking. Now what I want to do is say, I'm not the only person in the world. I was just the first person. I want to be able to find people who need that inspiration, who are in a situation where you go to a hotel, what if they don't give you your cleaning supplies to clean your room? When there's 10 or 15 people, and now I went through intense. They use everything. They would have all kinds of people coming and going. I mean, it came to a point where, sometimes I go out, it'll be like 100 people easily in the area that are there just on the orders of the gang stalking stuff. And that's when I'm in my glory. That's when I'm just getting into the zone. That's when I'm getting warmed up. That's when I say that this is going to make me better no matter what. No matter what, I'm going to be able to use this. And that's what I do. I perfect it. Every day I just beat on that craft and perfect it and make it better. And if you don't even know what it's like to be gang stalked, or if you're somebody who may want to do gang stalking or something like that, you want to become better at it, contact me. This can happen. Gang stalking can happen to anybody. It can happen to the President of the United States of America. It actually happened to the former head of the Los Angeles FBI at one point, Ted Gunderson. He was gang stalked. Anybody can be gang stalked. This is a skill. Being able to just beat gang stalking is a skill that you have to have. You have to have that skill. You have to let people know that no matter what, you're going to be able to get through something. And, you don't want to get into that circumstance and then have to do it. You're going to want to have some pointers. You can come to where I'm at. I'm in Norton Shores, Michigan, United States of America. I'll walk you through, show you how to deal with cars on the corner, how to deal with the circumstances, going to stores, just the overall mentality. Or I can go to where you are, like if you live in West Virginia, if you live whatever state you're in, or if you live, in France or something somewhere, we can work something out. If you can pay for me to get a ticket and get there, stuff, I'll be able to get you through it. If you work at a corporation, you work at a company, and there's gang stalking going on, you can't afford to lose your job. You have to get through it. If you want to make sure your employees can get through it, if this is happening in your company and you want to stop it, just let me know. No matter what, I'm going to be there 110%. And I've done this on I've had everything happen. Like I said, helicopters, food getting drugged, electronical weapons were used against me. I mean, the whole 9 yards. It doesn't faze me. I'm in the zone. So if you want to be in the zone too and be able to beat this, you gotta have that drive and be able to contact me.